All right. Okay. We got done seeing the new SpongeBob movie. I had to wear the hat, but now I'm not going to wear it because it's actually very uncomfortable. So, SpongeBob, Sponge Out of Water. We saw the trailer for this actually a long time ago.
We did.
And
did we see it at a movie or like?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And I thought it looked terrible because I was like, okay, so it's taking SpongeBob and putting him into our world, and that's the joke. That is not this movie.
No.
That is not this movie.
I'm almost going to say that the tagline of this movie, Sponge Out of Water, is kind of
It's very misleading.
Yeah.
SpongeBob and the gang do not go into our world until the third act of the film. The climax. This movie is so crazy.
This movie is insane. Like, this is an acid trip.
And you know what? I can't in good faith say that it's like a well-made film. It's not your typical family movie by any means. But wow, was it entertaining.
Oh,
For at least you and me, it was.
We were having a blast. I think Morgan was too.
Yeah, Morgan was too. Let me tell you what this movie is. This movie is not SpongeBob jokes. This movie is not SpongeBob.
It's not your typical SpongeBob.
No. You know what this movie is? This movie is Mad Max jokes. This movie is The Shining jokes. This movie is epic rap battles of history jokes.
Oh my god.
2001:
A Space Odyssey.
This is this whole movie is a psychedelic acid trip starring Spongebob Squarepants.
Oh my gosh.
I don't even know how to talk about the plot. Antonio Banderas is this pirate who has a ship that is also a semi.
No, it's just like a car, like a truck.
Well, kind of, but it's so big.
Yeah.
But he has a ship that also has wheels, and he runs a burger truck, and he steals the Krabby Patty formula. And meanwhile, in Bikini Bottom, after he stole the Krabby Patty formula, Bikini Bottom literally goes into the apocalypse. But wait, not just any apocalypse. I'm not kidding. It literally goes into a Mad Max apocalypse.
Hope you like leather.
What happens is they're outside and Mr. Krabs is talking to Squidward. He's like, "Oh no, the Krabby Patty formula is stolen. We won't be able to make any more Krabby Patties." And Squidward's like, "What does that mean?" And Mr. Krabs literally goes, "It means we're going into the apocalypse." And then it literally cuts to them in the desert with explosions happening, and they're all wearing Mad Max leather S&M post-apocalyptic gear. And then Mr. Krabs says, "Hope you like leather." And so everyone has mohawks. There's a guy wearing a hockey mask. It is straight up. It is straight up the Road Warrior.
Football pads and like, oh man.
It is straight up the Road Warrior. That is the joke of the first half of this movie is a parody of the Road Warrior, which is perfect timing since there's the new Mad Max film coming out this year.
It's amazing. And I were laughing so hard.
Sandy is parodying a character from Thunderdome, right? Like, oh my gosh. And there's a scene. Before I get to that. So, yeah, Bikini Bottom is in the Mad Max apocalypse. And so SpongeBob and Plankton, above all people, end up teaming up to try to recover the formula. And in the process, at one point, Plankton still doesn't trust SpongeBob. So while SpongeBob is asleep, Plankton's like, "SpongeBob knows deep down what the formula is. I'm going to go into his brain and find out."
Into his brain.
So he goes into, he did that in another episode, right?
Did.
Yeah. So he goes into his head, and he literally goes into his brain, and the inside of SpongeBob's brain is
acid trip.
It's a happy, upbeat acid trip. And it's super creepy, and there's all these, it's like Pee Wee Herman, like everything has a face, and everything is smiling like in a really creepy way. And then they make a Shining reference, where Plankton sees these two popsicles that are stuck together, and they're like the twins, and they both say in unison, come play with us, Plankton. And then, like, it zooms in on them. Again, like the shot.
Before
we melt. It is.
And then he pukes a rainbow.
And then Plankton pukes, and he ends up puking out a rainbow.
That grows a face and starts talking.
This is the first 20 minutes of the film.
Oh my gosh.
Mad Max.
This never stops.
Mad Max and The Shining. The first 20 minutes of this.
There was a lot of things in this movie where you and I would turn to each other and we were like, well, that was creepy.
That's what I'm saying. This is
like the snow globe scene.
Oh my god! SpongeBob has a snow globe of like of all of his friends.
Oh man.
That's what I'm saying. This is not a movie that like a family would go see and enjoy.
See,
but
this is the kind of movie that I feel like, you know, kids would be like, Mom, take me to the new SpongeBob movie. Mm-hmm. So then she does, and then after she gets out, she's like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
Like, what did I just take my kids to?
I honestly feel, because you and I both have agreed, you know, we both grew up with SpongeBob. It was during our time.
Like they know who this audience is?
That's what I'm going to say is, you know, we were kids in the early 2000s, and that's when SpongeBob was really in its prime. I haven't watched a new episode in a very, very long time. And that's because I thought the show really went downhill.
Well, ever since the original creator left, I've never really liked it.
I honestly feel like this movie might have been geared towards us, the original fans. Because there's so many, like, bear with me, there are so many, while it is, for the most part, kid appropriate, you know, there's no profanity or anything.
Was this rated PG?
I think so.
Okay.
There's just so many, you know, every kid's movie has adult jokes. I know that. I know this is not new. And they do that so that the parents can you know, spot jokes that the kids won't. I know that they've been doing that.
Yeah, PG.
I know they've been doing that for a long time. But with that said, this is so many. And it's so much of a parody of these adult films that it's like, I feel like this, and again, films that like people like you and I would watch, like Mad Max. And it's like, I feel like this movie was geared towards the original SpongeBob audience grown up. I really do. Man. And from that point of view, again, this movie, okay, I cannot, if I were to be the snobby critic, this is not a good film, because there is no structure, there is no, I mean, the theme is teamwork, that's the obvious theme, but it doesn't bring anything new to it. It was just, hey, if you work together, it's Expendables 3. If you work together, you can accomplish, you know, there's nothing new about that. There's really no development between any of the characters. Plankton, a little bit, but of course, at the end, he's still evil Plankton. So, yeah, there's no arc, there's no structure. So no, from a technical movie point, this is not a good movie. But
it's so enjoyable.
Holy crap, is it entertaining. I mean, really, way more entertaining than I thought it was going to be.
When they're going back in time and they go into that triangle room.
Okay, I don't know.
Oh my god.
I do not know how to explain
I knew
this.
It was going to be something weird, but a dolphin?
Okay.
Like, oh my god.
I feel like another part of this movie, I feel is parodying something, but this is a reference of the film that I did not get. So Plankton and SpongeBob make a time-traveling machine, and they travel into space, into this triangle in space. At first I thought it was a 2001 reference, but it really has nothing to... There's really no clear reference to it, so it's not... Unless... I mean, besides the time-traveling part where everything's all weird. I mean, you could argue that was 2001, but that's about it. They go into this weird room in a triangle that's in outer space, and there's a dolphin.
But, like, you see it, and you can't see it. It's like this thing.
A big cape is over.
Wearing a robe, and it's like talking to them.
I think it was a stop-motion dolphin, too. It wasn't, like, an animated dolphin.
It was weird.
A flying dolphin with a British accent that watches over Jupiter and Saturn. And this character reappears throughout the film, actually helping SpongeBob. Oh, my gosh.
And then... I love how when Saturn and Jupiter ran into each other, it was like rocks.
Yeah.
Except those are both made of gas. Like, oh man. Oh. Wait, Patrick, what year is it? It's Thursday.
There was a lot of...
We went 4 days in the future.
A lot of...
Oh, man.
Like, kind of like we were saying, this really doesn't feel that much like a SpongeBob movie because a lot of the jokes really are not SpongeBob-like jokes. But with that said, there are a few kind of classic...
I think a kid would enjoy this still.
Oh, sure. What I was about to say is that there are a few moments that it's like, that's classic Patrick. That's classic Squidward. And a lot of those moments, I think, are pretty funny. Like that scene with Patrick. Not every joke with Patrick is good in this film, but a lot of them are... It's classic Patrick, and it's still funny. And I like the part where they're on the sugar high. That was pretty funny. That's in the trailer.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. And so, yeah, to get real quick into when they're out of the water, it's literally the third act of the film when they get out of the water. Thank God they don't spend much time talking or communicating with humans. It's very brief. Not counting Antonio Banderas. It's very brief. So there's not too many of those jokes, which is what I was afraid the whole movie was going to be.
Yeah.
So, how's Antonio Banderas in this movie?
Oh my gosh.
He is amazing.
He is amazing.
I wouldn't doubt if he made this back-to-back with Expendables 3.
He is having a blast in this movie.
And he's not even talking to any humans. He's talking to CGI, SpongeBob. He's
having so much fun.
He's camping it up like crazy.
And it's amazing.
And it's fun. And he's a pirate. I think he's supposed to be like an American pirate, too. He's running. There's a scene where he's running, and it's so, like, cartoonish. There's a great scene where, like, they have this wide-angle shot of him, like, rowing his car ship, and you have, like, a big shot of him, and he's like, ha 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 ha. It's just classic Antonio Banderas. This movie was honestly a really fun film to sit through. It's not.
When I went into it, I thought I was gonna hate it. I thought I was gonna sit there and like, the entire movie.
Yeah.
But I ended up having a blast.
I kept thinking to myself before going this, like, this is the movie that's going to kill SpongeBob once and for all. Even though the show has gone downhill, this is the movie that will cement like the doom of SpongeBob. It's the funniest thing SpongeBob related in years. Granted, it's not good.
No.
But as a young adult who loves Mad Max and The Shining and just
and all the other references,
all the other bizarre references, we had fun.
Oh man. That was
How great
so much
would
fun.
it be if the new Mad Max film references SpongeBob in some way?
I doubt it.
Oh, and
I'm sure it's already done filming.
Yeah, of course it is. Before we get into this, before we stop real quick, we'll also talk about this. So at the very end of the movie, Antonio Banderas, of course, loses, and they get the formula back to Bikini Bottom. Everything's happy. And Antonio ends up, like, on the little island that we see in the opening credits for every SpongeBob episode. And he's in the sand up to his head, so he's stuck in the sand. And all these talking pigeons are talking to him, and they're like,
"They're seagulls."
Oh, seagulls. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. And so they're like, let's sing the SpongeBob theme song.
And so of course he gets a hat and the
portrait, the
frame.
frame. So they sing the SpongeBob theme song, and then at the very end, the dolphin from space comes in and is like, "That song is terrible." A rap beat starts coming in, and I'm not kidding when I say it literally becomes an epic rap battle of history.
We're not even kidding.
And I'm not, like, in the sense that it literally becomes split down the middle, where you see the island that Antonio Banderas is on, and the space or whatever that the dolphin is in, and the dolphin is rapping in a comedic way.
Like slamming them.
Yeah, slamming, like a diss track. And the music is like the same kind of rap music that they play in epic rap battles. And they're going back and forth. It's literally an epic rap battle. And they didn't do this, but I was seriously waiting for them to go, "Who won? You decide! Who's next? I'm a crap battle!" Like, I could not believe what I was watching. And then it goes to the end credits. Holy crap!
A little actual real SpongeBob reference during the credits when Squidward starts doing the dance.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. There really weren't that many SpongeBob references.
Like this is not a movie where you need to know SpongeBob really well to enjoy it.
In fact, it might be funnier if you did it. To be honest.
I mean, maybe to know the characters because they don't really introduce the characters. But I mean, that doesn't really matter in the end.
No. Wow. So we still haven't seen any good new films so far this year, not including American Sniper and Selma, since those were 2014.
I don't want to rope this movie in with like Taken 3 and stuff like that though, because I enjoyed this movie.
I know. What I was saying is that we really have not seen any quality films so far this year. But this is the first one that we actually, besides how bad Taken 3 was, this is the only one that we've watched so far that we were really finding entertaining.
Yeah.
Besides how bad Taken 3 was. Whew. All right, SpongeBob. So I'm not going to rate this because I can't.
You can't rate this.
You can't.
It's
not a good
rate
film.
Something that's not good, but you still enjoyed it.
So would you though? Okay, would you recommend this to people like kids our age that grew up with SpongeBob? Yes, I would too. But would you really recommend this to like a family to go see?
No. I would not tell my parents to go see this because they would hate it. They wouldn't have as much fun with it as we would.
I feel like this is a movie that most parents, unless you're one of the few parents that does like SpongeBob, most parents I know hate SpongeBob.
Yeah, because it's edgy.
It is edgy, and it is, of course it is stupid. But fun stupid.
Yeah.
If you're one of the parents that hated SpongeBob and you hated the fact that your kids watch it, you are going to pull your hair out seeing this.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, would I even recommend this to like the younger kids though? It's so many adult references. Mm-hmm. Even for, I know a lot of kids movies.
They have enough slapstick in there and stuff like that for the kids to enjoy, but this is more centered for adults, I feel.
Young adults.
Yeah.
This is more
our age.
This is our audience. This is really our target. This is really the target audience, I feel, for this movie. But I do recommend it to the original SpongeBob fans, and I guess to the newer ones, sure. I guess, again, it is, despite the fact that it's referencing like Mad Max, and despite the fact that it is very drug-like, it is still a pretty harmless movie. You know, again, there's no profanity. There's not really any sex jokes.
Well, there's during the epic rap
battle. Oh yeah,
one of the seagulls says a bad word and they
censor it. Yeah, that's true. But if a parent did take
like I said, if SpongeBob taught us anything, the dolphin was cussing at them the whole time.
That's true. I will say this: if you are a parent who's like, look, I don't care if the movie's good or not. I just want to take my kid to a movie that'll shut him up for an hour and a half. You know, if that's your point of view, this would be an okay film for them to go see. It's not offensive. It's not, it doesn't make a bad influence on them. So it would be fine to take your kid to it. Mm-hmm. All right, so that's our really messy review of a very messy film, SpongeBob Out of the Water. We'll have some more reviews up soon. Thanks for listening.